lot of extreme demons make it into the recommended section on YouTube, or maybe you see someone playing one on a Twitch stream. But there are always some levels that go under the radar and are never really mentioned. So, to highlight some of those levels, I went to the last 10 pages of Extreme Demons, and chose the 10 that I felt didn't get enough attention. Just a quick disclaimer, none of the levels I put in my top 10 favorite Extreme Demons will be on here, such as Esfera, which would by far take the number 1 spot. But the thing is, it's already been in that video, so yeah. Also, the data taken for the levels on the last 10 pages was taken on October 4th, so this might be outdated slightly by the time this comes out. Tell me what you think is the most underrated Extreme Demon in the comments, and also as a reminder that this is an entirely opinion-based video, so don't be harsh in the comments or anything. Yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and also follow my Twitch to see some pretty cool live content. And yeah, let's get into it. Kicking off the list is a mega collab that was built and verified entirely on mobile. Prisma by Cooper Super, Mr. Budgie, Big Thunder 556, and more is a colorful and bright masterpiece. The song has an upbeat drop with some cool growls and a great main melody. When it comes to the gameplay, it flows really well. The balancing unfortunately isn't the best, but it doesn't take away much from the level. According to Sub-Zero, the first non-playtester victor of the level is great, for the most part. According to them, most of the pre-drop is free but carried by some choke points, that being Chaz and Hylo's parts, and the drop is carried by 70 to 100 and random choke points that come before it. Regardless, I've definitely seen worse balancing before, so this isn't even bad. Each part works together very well and reflects the pace of the song from the beginning to the end. Also, this level is over 2 minutes long, so great job to the creators on doing that. All of the designs are flashy and stick out. A lot of the parts look completely different from each other, but still work together. A good example of this is Chaz's part compared to Dreamtide's. Chaz's part starts out very glowy, but gets darker as the part goes on to bring out the darker colors in the next part. Then Dreamtide's part has some cool effects to go along with a clean design style, which isn't really seen throughout the rest of the level, but still works very well. Out of all the mega collabs of this style, I feel like this level does way better than a lot of them. The effort put into this level really shows, especially considering that it was built on mobile. Now on to another mega collab that I feel deserves way more attention. You guys might know this level if you happen to watch that one Twitch stream back in July where I went for this as my new hardest demon. I ended up dropping it, but not because it was bad. Emptiness is one of the most underrated levels of its style, with a very talented lineup of creators and an amazing layout. Let's get started with reviewing that layout. I have 69 to 117% on this level, which isn't the best progress by any means, but enough to give a general opinion on the level. The whole layout, made by Redux, has great flow with amazing sync and fun waves. It feels very similar to Reverence because of this, and Reverence is one of my favorite extremes. There are some awkward transitions at 44% and 68%, for example, and some choke points like the 45% ship and 87 to 88%, but those don't take away much. Most of this level is incredibly fun and consistent. Now onto the deco. The first part uses pulses very well to bring out the details in the level, turning basic block designs into vibrant explosions of color. There are also some very well placed glow beams in this part. The drop happens pretty much instantly at 11%. This part has very cool structuring with some elements commonly used in art-styled levels being present, such as using a variety of objects to create blocks that look smooth and natural. Some of the object choices are very unique, with some of the old clouds from around when Theory of Everything came out being used as a background design, which surprisingly fits in. The parts from 21 to 60% and 68 to 88% all follow a very similar style, with glow being used well, and also some dark areas in these parts to add to the atmosphere. The part at 29% really gets this down well. And while the part at 61% doesn't fit in that well, looking mechanical, it's an interesting part to have with the change in the song. It's probably the best part of the level actually, and not just decoration but gameplay too. The last part follows a pretty similar style but isn't as detailed, unfortunately. The end screen is pretty lame and tries to create a theme that isn't evident throughout the rest of the level. I don't have the expectations for levels to create an end screen as good as the stuff that Kulik makes, for example, but I still have a standard. But yeah, let's move on to yet another amazing mega collab. This next level usually gets passed off as generic, but I think it's one of the best levels of its kind. Cephas, hosted by DZ and verified by Tenno. This level is really cool. First, I'm going to start with the gameplay. It has great flow and waves that, while tight, are very satisfying and consistent. People generally agree with this opinion, including the verifier Tenno. He said, the level has really cool gameplay, and the decoration also follows a glow style, which I always like. I would say that this level is kind of like Reverence, Deco, and Playing was. For the difficulty, I'd say it's also about easy extreme difficulty, so make sure to check it out. Wolves gave this level a 5 out of 10 enjoyment, which is one of the rare occurrences of him giving a level over a 3 out of 10. There are some bugs according to Zeronium, unfortunately, but the general opinion is that they don't really make this level too unenjoyable. While I have seen decorations similar to Cephas before, this level has its unique elements that make it stand out against other levels that could have made this list. The name Cephas means death in Latin, and this level definitely brings a lot of intensity to match the name. The boards that come across the screen at some points, like 46%, really bring that intensity. While the level is dark and has a ton of negative space in some parts, it is made up for with great effects. In my opinion, the level is at its best from 54 to 73%, with things that are very attention-grabbing and flashy. The first half of this section, from 54 to 63%, has a ton of flashes and bright block designs that make it feel like you've entered a lightning storm, or something like that. It shouldn't work well with the other parts in theory, but it works great as a style shift halfway through after a lot of dark parts. And the best effect in this entire level is no question the one at 68%. It feels like time stops, and you get taken into this disintegrating place that suddenly vanishes. It remains a mystery for the rest of the level, but it's still a cool effect. The glitch effects throughout the rest of that part add to the mysteriousness. The end screen is somewhat unoriginal, looking a lot like that of Reverence by Woomanmore, but it's not too big of a problem since the effort is clearly there nonetheless. In general, Cephas shouldn't get hated on for being quote-unquote generic. The level taking the 7th spot has an incredibly talented lineup featuring creators such as GoKill, Viral DL, and Acewith. One of the easiest extreme demons in Geometry Dash, Helios is amazing. The sense of progression in this level, combined with the song from Terraria's Calamity mod, is great too. The intensity of the song, Unholy Insurgency by DM Dokuro, works perfectly towards the end, especially. This level really proves that glow style can be diverse while still fitting in. Some parts that really prove this are the part by Suckstar IX compared to the part by ZWK. They blend together so well, but are still their own parts that stand out in your memory of the level. The most underrated thing about this level, in my opinion, is how it makes glow style seem unique. In a sea of levels of its kind, they're labeled as generic. While there are some parts like Dashin which are very forgettable, especially for an end part, there are still some interesting parts like the previously mentioned ZWK along with the part by Felixus. But when it comes to the gameplay, I have experience with this level too. I actually got 55 to 100 way back in late March of 2022, I'm pretty sure, when my hardest was Void. If it wasn't for Hurricane, this would be the best beginner extreme demon in my opinion. Literally everything flows well, is consistent, and overall just fun to play. It's not as fun from zero, as it apparently gets very boring according to my friend LimeDub, who tried the level and got 60%. There are also some choke points like Carlos Art's part from 49 to 55%. But overall, this level is pretty cool. It has consistent quality and uses the song incredibly well. 6 out of the 10 levels on the list are mega collabs, and for the first time, the next level is not a mega collab. The next level is probably the most interesting one to make the list, as it hugely stands out from the 4 levels before it. Devoid by Riley06 is one of the coolest effect extremes I've seen, with great progression to go along with amazing and bright effects in just 56 seconds. The song goes from somewhat ambient to a drum and bass drop that has a really cool rhythm that makes it seem kind of glitched, which works great with this level. When it comes to the gameplay, it's pretty experimental, with basically only 4 game mode switches in the whole level. The UFO part near the beginning is probably the most interesting part, as it's very open but still has some tight timings. The drop consists of only ball and spider, but still isn't as boring as it has a lot of fast clicking and interesting click patterns. According to Wolves, this level unfortunately has stinking space balancing, but that's intentional according to the creator. It doesn't make that much sense, but I kinda get it. Since the level is only medium length, it's not as big of a deal as levels like Zodiac, where they aren't too hard until 40% into a 3-minute level. The decoration has been compared to that of Nelv, and while I don't think it's that good, I still think it's very unique and just in general good. The pre-drop has an atmosphere similar to Shard Escapes, but you feel like you're above the clouds or something. Speaking of clouds, the cloud object is used very well in this part, similar to Emptiness. The background effects start to get more crazy and the level darkens, and then you get into the drop. Everything is white except for some structures with spikes, with amazing effects going through the blocks. The drop is so chaotic, but in the best way possible. It matches the song perfectly. You escape the drop and end up in the same world you were in at the start, which is a pretty cool progression to have. Devoid is really unique, and it should get more attention as an amazing effect level. Zettabyte by Jenkins is a great level for its time and has gotten some well-deserved attention. But Ninabyte by Pika Senpai is basically like if Zettabyte was made in 2022, with some inspiration from Terminux too. This song is a Complextro banger by Meganeko, 9-Ox, which would be one of my favorite songs if the quality didn't drop off after the first minute and a half. But luckily, this level uses the first minute and 10 seconds of the song. The technological theming of the level gives off the same vibe as Zettabyte does, but unlike that level, it doesn't have any weak parts. When it comes to the gameplay, it's generally regarded to be fun, but it unfortunately has a couple weird parts. When I was doing a practice run on this level, I did come across some of those inconsistencies, such as a couple weird microclicks and some awkward ship parts. The level is also pretty first half heavy. But those are just a few small things, and otherwise I really like this level, as it does a great job having some hard timings that end up getting consistent, making this a great level to go for as a hardest after Bloodbath or something around that difficulty. The decoration is amazing too, with a consistent theme and some cool effects such as 39% and 80 to 84%. Oh, and did I mention that this is a solo level? Yeah, Pika just overall did a great job with this level, and I can't wait to see what they release in the future, as this is only their first rated level. If you guys watched my Twitch streams in early August, then you probably know this level, and I am definitely qualified to have an opinion on it, as I have 86% and 55 to 100 times 2 on it, and it would be my second hardest if I was to beat it right now. Incandescent by Copy Napi and More is one of the best mega collabs in this entire game in my opinion. The level is criminally underrated. The name fits it perfectly with there being bright decoration throughout with a lot of blue too, showing that this level has a slight winter theme, which is shown in the end screen. My two biggest issues with this level are the balancing and the lag though. The lag is pretty self-explanatory as this level has over 305,000 objects, but you need to play the level quite a lot to know about the balancing issue. 30 to 40 has some ridiculously hard timings and tight ship parts. 48 to 50 seems pretty random and just not fun. The duel from 79 to 81 is really awkward, and the wave from 89 to 91 is insanely tight, especially for the end of a level. But the gameplay itself has great flow throughout and a lot of consistent parts to make up for the flawed ones. The decoration is really where this level stands out from other mega collabs though, with a similar creator lineup to Helios, but everyone did way better with this level. Not to say Helios is bad or anything, this level is just so much better visually. Burgaz, Isane, Deadlock's, ZWK, and Viral DL's parts are standouts, with great colors and complex designs. Viral's part is very unique too, as it's memory-based, which is something you don't really see in most mega collabs of this style. Plus, the visuals are great with the use of pulses that shows that Viral DL really knows how to create. It's a very well done, consistent part in decoration and gameplay. Incandescent is seriously one of the best mega collabs of its style. It's no Esfera or Terminux, but still, this level deserves so much more attention as a great mega collab, and it's 2 years old too. This is the most recently rated level on this list, and it's one of the most unique collabs that has been released in the game ever. Galaxies, Para, Starkey Salad, and Arakushi 14 work together to make the greatness that is Wild Rose. An effect collab with a somewhat experimental layout near list difficulty, this level is really something special. The atmosphere this level creates is amazing, with block designs that seem to blossom, vibrant backgrounds, and particle effects. The transition from the first cube to the following ship is so cool, as you're moving at a very slow pace, but then time seems to catch up to you, and you get thrown into this mysterious place that slowly darkens. But with a flash of light, the drop comes, and it's honestly one of the most vibrant, colorful parts in any level I've ever seen. The transitions through the part are so well done, and instead of feeling sudden, they feel smooth and an integral part of the level. All of the designs work so well in this level too. They're unique, vibrant, and overall very clean. While they don't match the quality of the background and general atmosphere, they're still amazing. A few modern designs add a change of pace to this level and some variety. They fit in perfectly too. The layout could be better, but it's really not that too bad compared to most extremes. It has a really good flow and progression, even slowly the layout, let alone this whole level. I know this level has got a decent amount more attention since I started writing the script, but it still doesn't have what it deserves. Wild Rose is a really cool level, Galaxies and the team did a really good job. The level taking the silver is possibly the best solo extreme demon in the entire game. Verdant Landscape is the only one that tops it, probably. Key V's masterpiece, Totem, is nothing short of that. A masterpiece. This level is hell and flow style, but actually made good. It's really unique, intense, and the effort really shows. The song Sovereign by Boss Fight is a banger dubstep track, as expected from him. Actually, this is my former favorite song, with great intensity, a great rhythm, and quite the epic drops. Anyway, back to the level. The gameplay to begin with has great flow and a lot of well-placed holds and also some memory. The waves are tight but are consistent and satisfying, the perfect way to do a flow level. Similar to Quayar by Viper and more, some of the timings feel forced and there are a few off-sync clicks too, but that doesn't take too much away from the level. While the gameplay is somewhat controversial, the decoration is nothing short of stunning. The theming, to begin with, is clear and very good. It isn't hell, but some dark place with an evil god watching you, with totems worshipping him all around you. The decoration to match that is of incredible quality. All of the designs are complex with small details like animated fire in the blocks to add an extra layer of detail. The art is also very clean, such as structures made of boards and the aforementioned totems. The addition of green and colors other than red and black are very good decisions, as most hell levels stick to solely that red and black color scheme. There's even a part with animated line sketches, which fit in great as a change of style. At the end, the intensity really increases. Even though it isn't too hard, it really gets your heart racing. Every small detail adds to this, and it's pretty clear that KeyV really put a lot of effort into the ending. This level completely nails its intensity and theme, and I can't wait to see what else KeyV makes in the future, as they are very talented and stand out from other creators of this vein. I was really considering putting this level in the first place spot, which really shows its quality. But after a hard decision, the following level ended up taking the top spot as the most underrated extreme demon in Geometry Dash. While I feel like the level taking the number 1 spot doesn't deserve a spot in my 10 favorite extreme demons, it's still a masterpiece. With fun gameplay by Mixer and amazing decoration by Elvie, I am happy to say that Lonely Lights is probably the most underrated extreme demon in all of Geometry Dash. While this level is very short, it packs a punch with colorful decoration and a great flow in the gameplay, while still being understandable. The song works perfectly with the level and is a banger too. Birdsong by James Landino. It has flowy melodies that are overall enjoyable to listen to and a great drop with a cool rhythm, which isn't surprising as the song was intended for use in Osu. The level's flow and transitions really do a good job matching the energy and flow of the song. The gameplay has a lot of hardship parts mainly, which I feel are too hard but can get consistent. This level is overall good for building your consistency with ship. The timing-based parts have great sync and are overall just fun to play, and the waves are tight and satisfying while also not being easily chokeable. The decoration in this level is only made by one person, Elvie, but it has the quality of a mega collab with variety and attention to detail that goes further than your average level. In the pre-drop, there are custom lanterns, a great use of brick blocks, and also a smooth flower design. The pulse effects are perfect throughout the pre-drop especially, with the blocks flashing in and out while still being fair to the player, similar to the effect at the beginning of Blaster by Rustray, or Rustier, however you say it, I forget, a level I've reviewed before on this channel. The theme of being in a castle with some dim lanterns guiding your way into a more lush and vibrant place is executed very well, with text being used to add to this theme, which isn't used this well very commonly. Lonely Lights gets progressively more colorful and lush, with the first cube being in black and white, while the last one has pulsing purple pillars with moss or some plant growing out of them. The drop has a really interesting curved spike design that shows up a lot, and you can really tell that Elvie put a lot of effort into making even the spikes be unique and look cool. When it comes to the designs, there are 3 main styles. The first is a square design with candles inside of them. The second is a structure with slopes of varying opacities descending from a line at the top of it. This design has the aforementioned moss-like plant and curved structures. The final style has fading blocks to the top as solid colors make up the whole block and a masked effect running through it. All of this works perfectly to make a varied style with great cohesion. While the backgrounds are simple for the most part, they work well, and where this level really shines in my opinion is the foreground. There's a believable rushing water effect with flowers around 40%, along with a couple water drop effects in the drop. No pun intended. The simple end screen wraps up the level well, and shows how this level isn't the most complex thing ever, but it works so well. That's about it. Lonely Lights is just a hidden masterpiece in every aspect. Elvie deserves way more attention as a creator for not just this level, but his other works too, as he is a master of many creating styles. That's the end of the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I put a ton of effort into writing this, which probably shows as the script is around 5 2/3 pages long in Arial size 11 text. Yeah, this took a while. I started writing this on October 4th and today is October 28th, so I definitely put a lot of attention into writing my scripts. Tell me what you guys think are the most underrated extreme demons in the comments. as my opinion is definitely not factual, and I would be interested to see the opinions of other people. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed listening to this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.